Marketing Edge on TV is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. I am Bababumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. Rescue Promotions Limited has raised the bar in experiential marketing after successfully delivering immersive FIFA Football Watch Party experiences for brands supporting the global tournament across Lagos, Ibadan, Osogbo, and Abeokuta. The agency transformed football excitement into engaging consumer experiences, combining interactive fan zones, live entertainment, and premium match viewing environments to connect audiences with the moment. Furthermore, Rescue Promotions demonstrated its execution strength by managing multiple locations simultaneously, ensuring seamless production, crowd coordination, and memorable fan engagement. In addition, the activation reflects the growing shift in marketing as brands increasingly move beyond traditional sponsorships to create experience-led connections that resonate with consumers. According to industry observers, Rescue Promotions Limited's latest execution highlights how experiential agencies are redefining sports marketing through creativity, innovation, and strategic audience engagement. The Experiential Marketers Association of Nigeria (X-Men) has introduced major governance reforms to strengthen professionalism and drive sustainable growth across the industry. At its 2026 annual general meeting in Uyo, themed Collaboration as Currency, the association unveiled a revised scope of practice, an updated code of conduct, and plans to develop an industry pricing benchmark to promote transparency and fair business practices. Meanwhile, X-Men President Tolulope Medebem called for stronger collaboration among agencies, clients, regulators, and academia to accelerate industry transformation. Additionally, members approved an extraordinary general meeting to ratify the reforms, while the association reaffirmed its commitment to nurturing future marketing talent through student engagement initiatives. The Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria (TBWA) has renewed the mandate of its executive committee, with Lanre Adisa returning as president for another term. At its 53rd annual general meeting and congress in Lagos, the association also retained Adekoyi Abiola as vice president, Shola Adegboroye as honorary treasurer, and Fumi B. Fayo Adeleye as publicity secretary, among other executive members. Meanwhile, TBWA has commenced preparations for the 21st edition of the Lagos Advertising and Ideas Festival live, unveiling a new management board led by Funke Adekola as president and Jumoke Akinyele as vice president. Furthermore, Adisa says the festival, themed From Glitch to Great, will focus on creativity, innovation, and global competitiveness. In addition, the new Lagos Advertising and Ideas Festival Board has pledged to reposition the festival as a stronger platform for celebrating African creativity while promoting technology, talent development, and industry growth. Nigeria's events industry is gathering remarkable momentum, with fresh market projections estimating the sector will hit $27.5 billion, about 37.5 trillion naira by 2034. Again, Deep Market Insights forecast annual growth of more than 11%, driven by rising corporate events, exhibitions, conferences, and the global appeal of Afrobeats. Furthermore, 360 research reports project the global meetings and events market will expand to $3.6 trillion by 2035, creating fresh opportunities for Nigeria to attract bigger international conferences. In addition, experts say artificial intelligence, hybrid event platforms, and digital innovation are reshaping the industry, while stronger private sector investments continues to boost demand. Although inflation and rising operating costs remain challenges, analysts believe Nigeria is well positioned to become one of Africa's leading destinations for business, entertainment, and cultural events.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Next is Branding Focus after this break.
Every day, millions of Nigerians walk past your next customer. The question is, can they see you? Nimbus Media puts your brand exactly where Nigeria is already looking. High-impact digital screens inside shopping malls, supermarkets, gyms, and the busiest locations across Nigeria. From billboards to brand activations, we make sure you show up and show up boldly. We've helped brands launch, grow, and become the name people remember in the moments that matter the most. Your audience is already out there. It's time they found you. Nimbus Media. Visibility. Done right. Book your campaign today at nimbus.com.ng.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Now, Branding Focus. With economic challenges tightening consumer spending in Nigeria, marketing has become a blend of storytelling, cultural relevance, digital innovation, and community engagement. Brands are connecting with audiences through local narratives, leveraging cultural elements like music and festivals to build trust and loyalty in this challenging climate. The digital-first era has reshaped strategies, with platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube becoming central to campaigns. Brands are focusing on short, engaging videos, real-time interactions, and user-generated content to drive engagement. Influencers, particularly micro and nano creators, have become key players, offering relatable content that resonates with younger audiences and sparks online conversations. Experiential marketing is also evolving as brands like Maltina and Pepsi create hybrid events that combine physical activations with online trends. Youth-centric campaigns reflecting also culture and social consciousness are gaining traction, while humor-driven content continues to dominate cultural conversations. Data-driven marketing, though still developing in Nigeria, is helping brands personalize messages through platforms like WhatsApp for Business. Marketing professionals are urged to balance affordability with value while fostering community and hope. By prioritizing authenticity, creativity, and adaptability, brands can navigate uncertainties and strengthen connections in a world seeking resilience and renewal.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Next is Industry Conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. Join us after this break.
Every day, millions of Nigerians walk past your next customer. The question is, can they see you? Nimbus Media puts your brand exactly where Nigeria is already looking. High-impact digital screens inside shopping malls, supermarkets, gyms, and the busiest locations across Nigeria. From billboards to brand activations, we make sure you show up and show up boldly. We've helped brands launch, grow, and become the name people remember in the moments that matter the most. Your audience is already out there. It's time they found you. Nimbus Media. Visibility. Done right. Book your campaign today at nimbus.com.ng.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
On Industry Conversation today, my guest is the Chief Executive Officer, TBWA Concept Unit, George Isitua-Onukwu. Glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
First of all, congratulations on your latest appointment as the Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you very much.
So how did you feel when you got the news? What was your first reaction?
Well, measure of gratitude to God and gratitude to my colleagues and of course my outgoing CEO. It was obviously, there was a build up to it, there was a transitional plan. For those of us who were a bit observant, I was made CEO last year about 9 months ago. So that basically was part of the first stage of a handover process between myself and the outgoing CEO. So I think culturally, the way the business and the company is set up is always set up in such a way that you have leaders at every point in time that can take up on roles and responsibilities in the organization. So yes, a bit of surprise, yes, a bit of excitement and gratitude to God, but it's a responsibility that has, of course, big shoes. So we have to do our best to carry on the legacy and reputation that the outgoing CEO has left behind.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Now, you've spent years building your career in advertising. Why did you choose the profession?
So it's a very interesting story. First and foremost, I never set out to join this industry. I have a maths and statistics major, which I studied in college, right? So I had built a pathway where I was going to join a couple of my uncles and cousins, including my mother, who are all bankers. So I did join the banking industry at some point in time, but I think for a very long time I was always drawn towards the creative part of me. That creative part of me was always there. I was interested in drawing, in painting, and a lot of creative work out there, right from secondary school up to way to higher institution. So I think sometimes that moment of discovery when you join a certain profession, I joined banking and I began to realize, okay, perhaps this is not really for me. That's when, the opportunity came in, and then I found myself in the advertising agency. At the time, I didn't really know so much about advertising agencies until I watched the movie Mad Men, and it was a very big opener, and I was like, hey, this is what I really think I want to do for the rest of my life. So in many ways, I tell people advertising chose me. I didn't choose advertising.
So you rose through the ranks before
Yes.
becoming the Chief Executive Officer.
Yes.
And what experiences have inspired your leadership style the most?
Well, again, I would say a bit of fortune too goes in there, because when I joined the TBWA, I joined in as an accountant. I was a finance executive. So I first started from there before I now took interest in media planning, right, and strategy. So I spent a couple of time from the accounting department into the media department, where I now began to take interest in digital marketing. And then further down the line, my bosses at the point in time realized I had a very fantastic relationship with clients. Oh, so they say, right? So before I knew it, from presenting media plans, media strategy, I began to form a lot of bonds and relationships with a lot of the clients that we were dealing with. And then I now had a direct shift again to account management, where I eventually became Executive Director for Business Development, then CEO, then CE. So to a large extent, for me, my leadership style is based on three principles, right? Which are interlinked. One, operations, right? Operation discipline, very important, right? Two, people. You can't run an organization without strong people, without competent hands that are well trained, well disciplined, and without the right mindset. And then three, strategy. All right. And for me, strategy is underpinned under vision and shared values. So you must have clear values, which is very important. Shared values that everybody can connect with within the organization, and a clear vision of where the organization is able to go. With those three things put together, then it's easy for us to, pivot and to direct ourselves as a business. For me, that's really at the core of my leadership style, which is that with strong operations, with clear people in place that are inspired to do the work, and then of course with a clear strategy, vision, and shared values, then with all of that, we are able to drive and run a successful and highly profitable business.
You're succeeding one of the industry's most respected leaders,
Yes.
Kenichi Owusu.
Yes.
Now, how do you balance preserving a strong legacy
Yes.
while creating yours?
Well, you must respect the culture and the heritage first and foremost, and of course the value of an organization. Being able to rise up the ranks has given me a privilege to understand what those values are and what that heritage stands for. Where we stand for disruption, or conventional thinking is at the bedrock of what we do. But beyond that is also customer and client intimacy, which I, for instance, take seriously. So for us, it's easy for me to be able to respect and understand that value while evolving the organization. And we're at a point in time, even within our industry, the industry is facing a lot of change, a lot of disruption. So it's about respecting those values, those ethos, but at the same time, knowing how well to evolve them.
As Chief Executive Officer, what are your immediate priorities? What should clients and employees expect from your leadership?
Well, for me, first of all, building strong foundation within the organization. So a very strong focus on people and on processes and on systems. So I think systems and processes are very important, but they will be driven by people. So the worst thing you want to do in the business is have to push the business by yourself. You want, just like an automatic vehicle, you want to be able to put the gear on drive and the vehicle start moving. So for me, first and foremost, system and processes, right? Hiring the right people, preserving and keeping our really good staff. And I dare say, like, we have really, really good hands within the agency. So it's important that we motivate them, keep them happy, keep them going, and keep them inspired as we try to move in the future. So for me, strong foundation is extremely important. And then for our clients, is to expect the same rigor and unconventional thinking that we know ourselves to be, right? And keep moving towards not just preserving the relationship, but growing the relationship. And that is tying whatever we're doing towards the ROI, towards business results. So we're moving into a space where communication, performance marketing is extremely important in what we do. How do we measure? It's an area that I think we often shied away within our industry. But clients are demanding for this more and more. How does what we do inspire and deliver results? So that is something that they would expect from me. They will expect an agency that is going to ask more questions about how their business is doing and how what we are doing is going to help them deliver on their ROI.
You've once spoken about expanding beyond the traditional agency model. Now, what is the next chapter of TBWA Concept Unit? What would it look like?
So for us, it's about diversifying our offering. We all agree that our current traditional business model as we know it, which is very heavy tilted towards retainership fees and project fees, is out of date. But we are first and foremost a creative company. I just use the term creative company because I don't really like associating ourselves per se as an ad agency. Ad agencies provide service. Creative companies build IP platforms and products. So for us, first and foremost, the mindset is that we are a creative company first and foremost, and that we create IPs, diversified product that can help solve marketing problems for our clients and for customers. So we already do that. That's the interesting thing. But most times we tend to rely on the retainerships and the project fees to create IPs for clients. Now we will create IP for clients, but also create IP that we think can solve marketing performance problems for our clients.
So I asked you earlier about your immediate priorities. So
Yes.
this is not too early to also ask. What's your vision for TBWA Concept Unit the next 5 years? Where do you see?
So I don't think for my vision for the next 5 years is to be a category of one. I don't want us to perceive and see ourselves as a company that is competing with different advertising agencies. We want to offer a different office service delivery for our customers and our clients. So we want to see ourselves as number one, feature thinking, a disciplined advertising creative company that is feature thinking, solving marketing problems, not just problems for our clients, but also for ourselves. So it's about a creative company that delivers on performance, but it's about a company that the client knows also creates IP solutions that can solve marketing problems, increase customer and client engagement, and deliver marketing results.
Looking beyond TBWA, how would you assess the advertising and marketing communications industry in Nigeria?
So it's been there's a lot of margin pressure. That's how I'll put it, and there are several forces at play in that margin pressure. There's a high cost of doing business, even on the client side. So clients are constantly trying to optimize their resources and budget. And then, of course, there's increasing pressure. Talents want to earn more. They want to have higher, better standards of living. So that pressure is constantly, surfaces every now and then. There's also the problem of education and capacity building. So as you know, the Japan syndrome, a lot of really good talents left, especially the middleman. I feel like that's where we got really, really hit hard. We had a lot of middle managers who left within the system, both on the creative, account management, strategy side, digital marketing, across all the different disciplines that have left. So it's been very difficult trying to meet up with the quality and standards that clients expect. So there's a renewed need, not just to hire good talent, but to see how to build the existing ones and to collaborate more with the higher institutions. And it's part of the things that we're already doing, establishing partnerships with some key institutions that can help us get ready-made undergrads that will come in and add value, just like what you have in accounting or in medicine, right? So we want a situation where our fresh graduates come in and are at a certain level where we can begin to add value and build capacity in them. So a lot of work in progress, but I think the margin pressure, if you ask any CEO of any agency, the margin pressure is the big thing. And sustainability, how do you sustain growth year on year? So what you have most times is a flip-flop in terms of the numbers. Some years are good, some years are not so good. One client leaves and everybody begins to panic and begins to shake. So for us, it's really how as an industry we can create sustainable growth for ourselves and for our clients.
Okay, so some of these challenges
Yes.
you mentioned also,
Yeah.
it has to do with agencies.
Yes.
Now, are there other challenges, and how do you think the agencies can respond to these challenges?
Well, like I said, first and foremost is, like I said, the education part of it. And I think I'll commend the current TBWA president, Mr. Lara Adisa. I think he's already established a couple of partnerships here and there now to help step up in terms of the education and training. Step up education for those that will be coming in and for those who are already present. You've seen the acceleration of artificial intelligence, for instance. I've never thought of it as a threat. I actually think it's an opportunity for us to leverage. And I think we've been a bit slow in terms of responding and adopting that technology and using it to leverage and to improve and increase our offerings and services to our clients. So for me, the challenge is there, but it's a challenge that is surmountable if we do the right thing. And I think for me, education, capacity building is the right thing. The other part of it is regulation. And I think the DG of Arcon is already doing a really good job in terms of adding structure, adding a bit of financial discipline, both on the client side and also on the agency side, so that we have a healthier industry where both sides are, the relationship is mutually beneficial.
So you agree with me that marketing budgets are shrinking
Yes.
and expectations are rising.
Yes.
So how are agencies adapting to this new reality?
Well, you have to be creative. Thank God we're creative people, right? So you have to be creative. I think that's the first thing. And I think it's not to look at it in a negative way. There are opportunities that are out there. I would say, for instance, I'm sure you would know that the NGX in Nigeria is one of the top performing stock exchanges in the world right now, right? The FX has been stable for the last couple of months. So there's been some wins economically. And what does that tell us? There'll be renewed interest from foreign investors that will come in. Our existing clients will also be able to plan better, right, and invest more into the economy. So I think it's really about, again, agencies understanding where does value really come from? Where do we compound value from? And I think once we have the answer to that problem, then we'll be able to create value. But right now, there's a lot of focus on communication execution, campaign execution, creating assets. And that's what we've been talking about for years and years and years and years. So I think once we start driving more accountability, where does this work go to and how does it deliver the results? Then we'll have a much healthier industry in the long run.
When companies cut advertising budgets,
Yeah.
what do they stand to lose? Let's be real.
I think it can be read either way. The big question is, why are you cutting advertising budgets, right? So there could be real reasons why they are cutting advertising budget. I think it's to find out the why first, before determining, whether it's the right direction to do. Different segments, different sectors of the economy have different reasons for cutting down their budgets, and sometimes I can associate with those reasons. For instance, if you look at what happened with the war in Iran and how it affected petroleum derivatives, and how it can have an impact, for instance, in people who make products that require plastics, bottled soft drinks, for instance, it will have an impact on their business. So, you expect the CEO for that company to look at what other ways can I survive during this period, right? So there are definitely good reasons why clients might cut down budget. But for me, it's always, what is the opportunity cost? So what is the opportunity cost if you had decided to do the marketing, right? You decided to invest in budgeting, in your marketing. And you've seen brands who have done the exact opposite. Rather than cutting down costs, they went in hard on marketing, right? And in some cases, there was a long-term strategy that was put in place for that to happen. So they were, at that point in time, they were not looking at those quick gains, which sometimes brands tend to make a mistake. They were looking at long-term gains And then you're beginning to see, we've seen businesses, for instance, which I can't mention here on the call, who have really been aggressive in the market. And 3 years down the line, they are number one in their category as we speak. So there's always an opportunity cost missed when you don't invest in marketing. So I tell clients, before you do that, have a clear understanding of where you're going, from a business point of view, what marketing objectives you try to achieve this year, both short term and long term, and then make a conscious, disciplined decision, not a reactive one, not an emotional one.
I've been speaking with the Chief Executive Officer, TBWA Concept Unit, George Isitua-Onukwu. The conversation continues on all our social media platforms at Marketing Edge and our website at www.marketingedge.com.ng. My name is Babum and Bibi.